Yeah, so welcome everyone to another amazing lesson. In today's lesson, I'm going to be talking about how to build parts. So, how do we build parts? I think the melody is a very common part of a song that we can easily tell, even when we just wake up from our bed or when we're about to sleep. If they just wake us up briefly and they're like, "Can you tell me the melody to this song?" You're like, like this is the melody to the song. It's not something difficult to get. But then if you ask the same person and you're like, "Can you give me the alto part of this song?" Just coming up from the bed and you're like, "What's the alto part for this song?" It may not be a really pleasant experience or pleasant question for the person. So what I'm trying to say is there's a way one can make it easy to tell other parts of a song aside from the melody. And I'm going to walk us through that in this lesson, in this short lesson. So let's go right in. So the melody is the part of music that's the highest tone. It's not necessarily the case that it's always the highest note, but most times it's the highest part of the song that people can refer to as the actual song. So put in other words, the melody is the actual song, right? And the parts are additions. They are additional supporting harmony to the actual song, the melody. So, for instance, in a song like what shall I say unto the Lord? All I have to say is thank you, Lord. Right? So we can tell us, what shall I say? So the easier part that one can easily trace next to the melody, right, is the bass. Trust me, it's the bass. Why is it the bass? So basically in this analysis we're looking at 4-part choir. That's soprano, alto, tenor, bass. Soprano being the highest, right, which is the melody, like we have established already. Soprano is the melody, and we have alto, tenor, and bass. Alto is usually the lower female register. Soprano is usually tagged the highest female register, right? But if you have to sing a song and you are voicing the melody, we can as well say you're taking soprano, right? The soprano is the melody. So although when someone else is singing alongside with you, they could be doing the parts, and it could be a sort of part swap. Don't let me go into so much detail for that. There is another lesson on that, so you can actually swap parts. But the melody most times is the soprano. So the next easier part that you can get following the soprano is the bass. The bass in the order of S.A.T.B, unswapped. By unswapped I mean you've not mixed parts with each other. Is the bass is usually the soprano, right? Just on a lower octave. So what shall I say unto the Lord? Right? Bass doing what shall I say unto the Lord? Same thing, the same melody, just on an octave lower than what soprano or the melody is taking. That's why bass is the next easiest. Yeah, so right after the bass, well, I wouldn't say the next easiest part, or not so easy part is the alto, but the alto is rather easier to get, and also the tenor is easy to get, and I'm going to give you a trick to getting the tenor quickly, but let's go to the alto. So the alto is the next part that may seem a little bit quite tricky to get. So we've already established that the soprano is easy to get. The bass is the soprano on a low octave. It's easy to get as well. But the alto now, we have what shall I say? What shall I say? Right? What shall I say? Right? So that's on our keyboard or any musical instrument. The soprano notation for that is so, mi, so, do. So, mi, so, do. So what we want to do is to play a note that is a triad. Let's say triad that is a third below that melody note. So if you have a piano app or a guitar app, whatever kind of app, you would be able to play the notes, and of course, if you understand the basics of music theory to a certain level, you'll be able to calculate for the third, the note that is a third below that first note. What? Right, is the first note. What shall I say? What is the first note? So what we're going to get is the alto for that, and we're going to play a note that is a third below the note, not above, below. Alright, so that's how we go about getting the alto. And the note that is a third below, we can choose in it being a major third distance, right? Major third distance, or a minor third distance. So one of the two we can choose for that. And we can also at times, right, we can choose for it to be perfect fourth distance below. So the interval of a minor third below that note is 1.5 tones, which is basically 3 semitones in music. So you're just dropping down 3 semitones, or you're dropping down 2 tones. That's a major third below. A minor third is 1.5 tones below. A major third is 2 tones below. A perfect fourth is 2.5 tones below. Yeah, 2.5 tones below is a perfect fourth. So one of those notes by calculation is most likely going to be your alto part, right? So we have what shall I say, right? So our first note is what. So now I want to try other notes lower that will fit with that soprano note. Any of the 3 options, I'll fit with the soprano note, so we can get the song going from the alto part. The very, very first note is what's important, trust me, right? The other parts to sing, well, as often as you do it, it smooth things out. Or the other parts to be sung, to be sung, gradually present themselves to you. The other notes to be sung in your part present themselves to you from the very first note. So we have what shall I say? Right? So we have what? Right? So for you that's a vocalist that you listen well to songs, you know definitely that the alto part is what? Right? So we have what shall I say? Right? So your alto part definitely will be shall I say, right? But let's explore other options for that note. So, what shall I say? What is what soprano is doing? So alto, let's try what. See, doesn't sound so bad. That's the note that is a minor third below that first soprano melody note. So let's try a note that is a major third below. Right? Let's try a note that is a major third below. So a note that's a major third below would be E flat. So I'm basically in key of C. I'm playing G. Yeah. My first note is what shall I say? So my first note is G. What? G. What? Right? So we tried out E for alto, right? That's what for alto. So now I want to try E flat, which is 2 tones away from G. So what? If you're harmonizing, that wouldn't sound terrible. It doesn't sound terrible in my ears, but the regular part arrangement for like standard harmony of the song, we are not altering anything, would be the E note for the alto part. But let's try out the D note as well, which is a perfect fourth from the G note, right? It's a perfect fourth. That's 2.5 tones or 5 semitones away. So we either try the note that is 3 semitones away, 4 semitones away, or 5 semitones away. I hope that's not too much calculation. It's not too much calculation. So we'll try. So what shall I say? So we're gonna what shall I say? So what? Yeah, that doesn't almost really cut it. So, but I think this note goes the best. So you get to pick the one that goes the best. As often as possible as you do that, at a point you will not need to be trying out which of them goes better. Instantly when you sing the soprano, you will just kind of like fall back a third, whether a minor third or a major third below or a perfect fourth below to sing the alto part easily and conveniently. So what shall I say? Melody. So alto is my first note for alto. What? So what would that be? What shall I say? So together we have what shall I say? Oh, beautiful sounding. Can you hear those two parts? Let me use a string sound so you can get the sound better. So, what shall I say? Right? So together we have right, then continue the other part. We're just taking that first part because of time. So, what shall I say? What shall I say? Right? Then, so what would the tenor part be? Yeah, and I said I was going to show us a trick to go around getting our tenor part quicker. So the tenor part, normally, in the order of things, we should be getting the tenor part after we have already gotten soprano and alto, right? We should be getting our tenor part after we've gotten soprano and alto, which is a long, journey. Because after we get the alto, then we get tenor. And also, the getting of our tenor has to depend on, we must have gotten our alto, we must have ensured that our alto is 100% correct. Or at least the first note is 100% correct. You understand? So, normally I'm going to run us through the normal way. Anyone would go about it. Then the shortcut, so to say. So, what shall I say? Right? What shall I say? Right? And if you're thinking in my head right now, the tenor part should be what shall I say? Right? So let's explore our options. So alto is soprano is what shall I say? Alto is what shall I say? Tenor is what? So our alto is what shall I say? What? So we're going to calculate 3 semitones back from that note. 3 semitones back from that note would give us C sharp. So our alto note is E. What shall I say? What shall I say? Right? So let's try out C sharp as our tenor. So what shall I say? What? So let's try C sharp. What? Yeah, and it's not really sounding well to me. Right? That's the note that is 3 semitones back. That's 1.5 tones. So now let's try to know that it's 2 tones down. Oh, what shall I say? What shall I say? What? Sounds like it. What shall I say? Right, so what shall I say? I'm playing just the what syllable on piano. What shall I say? What shall I say? What shall I say? Right, you see, so that note that is 2 tones down the alto note was our tenor note, right? And when we go to soprano, we had to calculate 1.5 tones down. So that's 3 semitones down. That gave us our alto. Then from our alto note, we calculated, we tried the same thing, the minor third down, that's 3 semitones, but it didn't give us the sound that we should get, that we feel we should have gotten for the tenor. So we tried out the one that's 2 tones down, and it was correct, and we didn't need to try out our perfect 4th down, which is 2.5 tones, because that sounded really correct. But let's try out the perfect 4th briefly and see. What shall I say? What shall I say? Okay, so now we're trying the B note, right? Not the C. What shall I say? What shall I say? What shall I say? Oh, I tried the C note again. My apologies. So I'm going to do the B note instead of C note. What shall I say? What shall I say? What shall I say? What shall I say? That did sound like that didn't cut it, so we'll go with our C note. What shall I say? What shall I say? Alto, right then? Oh, what shall I say? Then our bass is what? What shall I say? So do you see progression now of S.A.T.B, soprano, alto, tenor, bass, and how to get it, right? Of course, another way to go about it would be going all the way from bass to the soprano, because bass is the same as soprano, but in this case you're having to try notes that are minor third above, or major third above, or perfect 4th above, to know which of them will be the that bass. You're having tenor. So you're having your bass, you're having tenor next, right? Then after you get the tenor, you add whether a minor third or a major third or a perfect 4th distance. Check out which of those 3 notes go well with the tenor. That would be your alto. Then after getting the alto, then you want to get the soprano, or you are clear on your soprano already. It's just a higher octave of the bass. So you can go from backward it's not so common to go that way because you're more familiar with the soprano, right? With the melody. So you want to go from the melody standpoint, the soprano, not from the other part, the bass. So yeah, I was going to tell us about a quicker way to get the tenor, right? Rather than going from the soprano, the alto, then you're now looking for the tenor. So just like from the soprano we can get, yeah, we can say from soprano we can get everything. From soprano we have to get everything in the first place. Because soprano is sort of the most important, right? Not like it's more important, but it's very important. It's what tells us what the song is. So from the soprano we have to calculate whether 3 semitones, or 4 semitones, which was the major third down, or 2.5 semitone, 2.5 tones, that's 5 semitones down. 3 semitones or 4 semitones or 5 semitones down. We have to check which of those notes. So to get our alto, so to get our tenor as well, right? Since our melody is the same as the bass in music, we can easily just look for the notes that is 3 semitones in the front, or 4 semitones in the front, or 5 semitones, right? For the perfect fourth in the front of that, and see the one that fits with it. That's the one that will be our tenor. So what do I mean by that? So normally we have soprano, alto, tenor, bass, right? Soprano, alto, tenor, bass. So after we get our soprano, we drop down either 3 semitones or 4 semitones or 5 semitones to get our alto, right? So this soprano, alto, but in the same manner we can treat our soprano as a sort of temporary bass note. Therefore, we will be looking for the tenor here. Like if this is our soprano, alto, tenor, bass, we have tenor here and bass here, right? And right above tenor we have alto. Right above alto we have soprano. So if our soprano is a sort of temporary bass that we are making it to be, we have our tenor somewhere here. Isn't that beautiful? So this is what I mean more in practical. So what shall I say? Right? What shall I say? What? So we're going to have to look for our tenor much higher. So let's calculate for the note that is a minor third above that melody note. What? Which is G. So let's look for a note that is a minor third above that. That's B flat, right? That's 3 semitones up. So let's see if that flows well with it. Or we already got our tenor actually earlier, and we agreed that it was C, right? So I don't know, but let's just try it out for the purpose of learning more. So what shall I say? What shall I say? Right? That's soprano. Alto is what shall I say? So soprano again is what shall I say? Right? So let's try these notes for our tenor. What shall I say? That's going to a different key. Now, which is key of E flat, and we're in key of C. So that note doesn't go. That's what I'm trying to say. So let's try the B note. The B note is a major third away from our soprano melody note, which is G. So let's try our B note. So what shall I say? So let's try our B note. What shall I say? It sounds like it went in my ears. What shall I say? What shall I say? So that was kind of high for me, so I just used my falsetto voice to carry the note. So, what shall I say? What shall I say? I use my stomach voice, but I will be doing a lot of, energy, which I'm not really looking forward to doing right now. I'm just trying to explain. So, So we tried that. That note didn't really work. It sounded like it could work, but it's not really the note. How do we know? When we try the next one, we know that that note is not sufficient to be the one. So let's try C, right, which we got earlier. That's going to be on a higher octave. So, what shall I say? So, what shall I say? Soprano. What shall I say? Our soprano. Then our tenor is giving us a perfect fourth above our soprano note. Our soprano note was G. What? Our tenor note is, a perfect fourth above that, which is what? What? Our bass is what shall I say? Tenor. What shall I say? Alto. What shall I say? Soprano. What shall I say? Tenor. What shall I say? I'll skip it to my falsetto. What shall I say? Right? See, that's tenor right there. Then we can even go to our alto once again, right? What shall I say? That's alto. Then we're going to go to soprano again. What shall I say? Then we can go to tenor again. So eventually, if you look at it, the parts you actually have are soprano, alto, and tenor. Your soprano is just lower. When it's on low octave, you refer to it as the bass, but it's the soprano, right? You understand? So you can always mix it like that around the soprano to get the correct part. So you can either get the soprano, get the alto, then get the tenor, or you get the soprano, you get the alto from the soprano, then you get the tenor, from the soprano on the higher side. So that's the breakdown of looking for parts. An easy route to follow for now for beginner musicians and even intermediate musicians. For more sophisticated harmony, you can use those pivot points, around the soprano to get the harmonies you want. Especially sub-harmonies like contralto, mezzo soprano, and all of those, like 6-part harmony, 6-part choir. So thanks so much, guys, for joining in to another lesson. Do enjoy the rest of the day. I strongly encourage you to get your copies of Song Bank by me and Simplified Music as well. The manuals would surely change your life, and they're on Amazon as well for international audience. And Simplified guitar as well. Contains the music theory broken down in a much more simplified format. The idea of chords and harmony, all those things are broken down and talked about there. So you should definitely get your copies of those. Till another lesson, do enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for joining me. Bye. Let me just play the song to round up. What shall I say unto the Lord? All I have to say is thank you, Lord. What shall I say unto the Lord? All I have to say is thank you, Lord. And that particular song is inside Song Bank. I think in page, I think it's song number 44 or so. Oh yeah, it's song number 44 in Song Bank. What shall I say unto the Lord? And it's broken down there. So you actually have the melody lines in Song Bank, and you're expected to create the alto and tenor parts. The soprano is the bass, right? You know that now. So all you have to really find is the alto and tenor. In the case of the 4-part choir, which is the most common form of choir arrangement, and the most common form of even chord arrangement on the keyboard or on the guitar. So you have the melody there. So mi, so do, so la mi fa, la 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 la, so mi re do, la so do, la so fa, la 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 la, so mi re do. So you have it written there. So this is what shall I say unto the Lord. So you should definitely get your copy of Song Bank. Contains 105 songs and 50 chord progressions, scored in the order of lyrics, melody, and accompaniment. So till another lesson, guys, do enjoy the rest of your day.